Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Cinema and Chat with Amita. As you know, I come and have a chat with you on every Thursday at 8:30 in the night. And talking about me, my name is Amita Gamage. Welcome to the show from LinkedIn, from Facebook, and also from YouTube. From whatever the channel you are joining, I would like to welcome you to this live talk show. So, a little bit about me. As I told you, it's Amita Gamage, and I am a executive coach. I love coaching CEOs. I'm also a personal branding strategist, and I help organizations achieve their sales goals by talking to their B2B sales teams. And I'm also an expert when it comes to digital communication. Now, why this show? This is how I add value to my LinkedIn family and others who are joining from Facebook and YouTube. I've been doing this for 22 weeks now with this week, and I have brought 22 guests here to add value. And today, the topic is a very important one and also is very much close to my heart because I was born and I was schooled in Uva province, especially in Badula district. And today we are going to talk about why IT industry of Sri Lanka should be regionalized. We all know the Silicon Valley of IT is Colombo, and whether we like it or not, a lot of things are happening in and around Colombo, and I strongly believe the regions haven't been focused as said by the authorities, policy makers, including business owners and entrepreneurs. But we say that Africa is silently growing. Same way, regional IT hubs are slowly and silently growing. Now, today I'm going to talk about why should the IT industry be regionalized in Sri Lanka, and in order to prove that it has to be done, I have brought someone, an information technology related entrepreneur, a very special person. He's Kaling. We will talk about his journey, and his journey is a testimony, an example why IT industry should be regionalized in Sri Lanka. So let me bring Kaling to the stage. Good evening, Kaling.
Good evening.
Thank you
Um,
very much for accepting
yeah,
the invitation to join this
anytime.
live talk show. And as I earlier told you, Kalinga, we believe that IT industry should be regionalized, and we are not going to tell anyone why it should be regionalized, but we are going to listen to your story.
Yeah.
That itself is more than enough for someone to know that so many other Kalingas should be developed in the regions. So, Kalinga, to start with, I would like to know a little bit about yourself, especially your school time and family. Are you originally from Bandarvele, or have
Yeah.
maybe have you gone from Colombo to Bandarvele?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And so, yeah, my name is Kalinga Gunwardhan, and I started the journey for building an IT business from Bandarwala because live and born here in Bandarwala. I schooled here, and so I'm coming
you
originally
went
from
to
Bandarwala.
Bandarvele Central College.
Exactly. I went to Bandarala Central College and for 13 years, and quite a big school actually.
Yeah.
Um, and produce a lot of good resources to the country and for the world as well. So that's my school.
Super. I'm proud to be from Haputale and from those schools. Okay, so your siblings, are they also into IT?
Yeah. So I have a brother and sister, but they are not into IT. I am the only one who's into the IT, and my parents are middle class parents. My father was a government officer in the agrarian services, and that's like we had a like very simple life when it comes to my young age. So that's basically about me. Like I'm not coming from an entrepreneurial family, simply.
Oh, yeah, I know. So, Kalinga, uh, did you get into IT when you were schooling, or after you went to the campus to your university?
No, no. I started to code when I was in 10, 12 age, right? I wrote my first computer program. Um,
Okay.
so it's a very young age at that time. We didn't have that tutoring classes or any classes in here at that time. What I was self-taught programmer at that time. I used to create notes by looking at and reading seeing a newspaper called Pariganaka Sangarava. That's like
Oh,
the inception from the Pariganaka magazine. I'm a fan of this magazine, and I used to take notes and writing my own computer program. So that's the inception of my IT career. So more than half of my life is dedicated to computers simply.
yeah. So I'm sure there are so many other stories. Imagine someone who has started coding by looking at a magazine printed and published in Sinhala language. I'm sure that magazine has changed a lot of lives regionally. You know,
Yeah,
I used to buy it.
yeah,
I can remember. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So then after that, what happened? You after your A
Um,
levels, you joined a university.
yeah, I after the A levels, actually, there's quite a story there because I
Yes.
failed my A levels
Oh.
once, and
Oh.
and the second time I got through the A levels and went to the Sabarkam University of Sri Lanka. And we were the first batch in the Department of Computing and Information Systems, and I I did well in the university actually, and thanks to the teachers there, all the academic staff at that time, we had limited resources in the university because that's the first time that that degree has started. All the resources were arranging at that time. There were
Okay.
48 members came in and 47 people, 47 graduated
Got through.
from that batch.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I wanted to thank all the academic staff members at that time because that their dedication has helped us to validate our knowledge and the passion. So so
You want to
that's
mention some names?
yeah. So few names actually. Um, uh, Kumar, we call him as Kumarasa, but he is now a doctor. We know
He has a
Dr.
doctorate.
Kumar. Yeah, and Professor Priyan, Vasanta Priyan, and Sulochana madam, she's not there anymore, but Chaturika madam. So all of these members were one sir actually Karyappa, Rifai Karyappa sir also there. So these people have dedicated their valuable time to teach us, and most importantly to validate us actually in the norm, right? Like without that degree, we couldn't move forward, but
Yeah.
that dedications we cannot forget. So That's what happened in the university. Without the resources, actually, all the members there went into very big positions now. All the members. And I was lucky to teach to the same university now, and for the young batches, young people than me, and so that's quite a story. So I still
Yeah.
grateful. I'm still grateful for having that selection for the university, right?
Yeah,
Um,
amazing. Like now, Sabaragamu University wouldn't have known for IT or
yeah,
information technology, but then with your batch, things have changed. There are
yeah,
great
because yeah,
programs.
yeah, exactly, because we were uh, winners for two consecutive times for the Microsoft like the first runners up for two consecutive times
Yes.
for Microsoft Imagine Cup, and
Oh,
that was a very big achievement. And I went to Singapore once for collaborating with the other Microsoft student partners, and we created a Microsoft student chapter in the university, and so those things were there. So we created that one, and these collaborations have actually still it is continuing in the university from the students of mine now. So this is what is happening in the university at the moment. So the early days it didn't have that IT mark when it comes to the IT industry, but we are trying to make that mark in the university, and good products are coming better than me actually, better than us, the old 47 better than us. We are trying to make more better people than us actually. That's what we
yeah.
are trying to
So
do.
it's a proud moment for the university and for the staff, the teachers, the lecturers. Great.
Yeah,
Uh, Proud moment for the region as well. Because the
yeah.
region has started producing. So then, once you finish your uh, the degree, or during the degree, I mean, did you do an internship anywhere, and how the internship helped you?
Yeah. So I got selected for the company called IFS. That's my first CV submission actually, and
Okay,
for an internship. So this connection created by one of the staff members, one of the teachers that we had, Professor Vasanta Priyan. He is the one who created
this connection.
this connection with the IFS. So three of us went through with this interview, and we got selected for this interview after for the internship in IFS. So this internship
Okay,
is quite important for me as well, because if I didn't have an intention for building a business, I would be definitely in the IFS now, because
okay,
that culture is amazing. There are a few people that I would like to remember, because I was inspired the way how they are running this company. So Mr. Bobudu, Nalin, and Yogi, one of the best trainers that I've ever seen in corporate world for tech things. It's really amazing the way how he's training. So these people are one of the reasons that I have my own training division in my company at the moment as well. So some of the cultural things came to me, corporate culture things came to me from when I'm doing that internship at IFS. The way that they are treating to the interns and everything, it's really amazing. So I'm grateful to have that internship at IFS.
so uh, those big software companies are
Yeah,
helping the youngsters through their internships and other programs, and it is helping the future of this country. So they are actually
yeah,
giving back to the society in certain ways. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So
So.
you did your internship there. I'm still wondering how come that you became an entrepreneur uh, instead of becoming, someone who is working for the corporate.
It's a very good question, but my entrepreneurial journey is starting when I was in eighth grade. This is a
Oh,
pre-planned exit, right? So, but initially I didn't say that I will only work for 6 months, but I initially didn't say anything like that at that time. But to make that company is like kind of a building a business. This idea came to me when I was in eighth grade, right? The reason is I've seen the stories of Bill Gates. I've seen and it how his innovations and the products are impacting to the world, right? So if we can do something like that into our country and for our community, this will create more impact for our country. So that was the idea, right? So so we when I was selecting the physical sciences stream, not for the engineering, it is only for going for the IT, because so all the things were I targeted them like very in a very systematical manner. When I at my best knowledge, even
at that
at
time.
the eighth grade, I planned these things. Like I was planning. I was searching. Like if I want to go into IT industry, I need to have an IT degree or something like that.
Degree. Yeah.
So, but to get into an IT degree, I need to go with the physical sciences stream. So that was the norm at that time. So then I want to learn these combined maths, chemistry, and physics for my A levels. So and after that, even when I went to the university, the some of the optional subjects that I've chose is not into the fundamentals, but for helping for the building businesses like human resources, right? There was a very good teacher. Still, he is there, Dr. Rasika Priyankar. He's the one who taught me the HR fundamentals, and still I'm applying those theories into the things, and
Your
still we
business.
are having the chat, right? So majority of the things that I've learned in the university is applied, right? Applied into the things that I'm doing in practical world, right? So from
So this
fundamentals
is
to
also
coding.
this is also an important thing because uh, some used to undermine the degrees. They say, okay, you don't need a degree anymore. So you are bringing a different perspective to whole of it, whole thing, saying, I mean, if somebody really wants, you can straight away apply the learnings the way you
Yeah,
like it, or you
yeah,
can completely ignore. Okay, degrees are useless. But here you are making a very important point. Whatever you learned is helping you.
exactly. Because there's a reason why we are having universities in this country, right? It is not for publishing papers, and it is not for giving degrees for the students, just a paper. We are expecting more from students, and the country is expecting more from students. And we have a bigger responsibilities than the other developed countries, because all of the higher education is free from the 15 state
Yep.
universities in this country. That is people's money. This is whether the people know or don't know, they are investing for us, for the younger generations to achieve more, to build a better country. So we have a purpose from when we are getting on board with the universities, especially a state university. So we must serve that purpose. Um, the country is expecting that, and the universities serves that purpose. The only thing is, if the students needs to understand that we can apply the things in a very creative manner into the practical world, whatever they are focusing on.
Yeah.
So whether it's the corporate or the business world, it's really matters.
Yeah. So my next question. Now, even though you were planning to eventually have a business. You're from Bandaraville, uh, so your parents are like ordinary parents, where they would generally in our society, your parents, my parents, they would want us to work.
Yeah,
You didn't have that kind of a peer pressure, societal pressure, family pressure. Why don't you
of
go and
course.
work?
So that's the pressure that I had, and I was expecting that pressure. So this is actually a quite interesting story. This is a very good question, actually. The reason is, you know, one of the major trouble for an entrepreneur here in Sri Lanka is the family pressure. This is one
Yes.
of the major roadblock, right? So, um, so you can live with the other people's blame, right? But if you are getting blame from the parents and your family members, this is what you can't live with, right?
Yeah.
So
Tough.
it's a very tough situation. Um, so there are a few ways to I had that pressure a lot, because I graduated with a good class, right?
Hmm.
So I had a lot of opportunities, but I haven't exposed the salary tags and everything into my parents, because if I'm giving that, they will push me and go and do it. So sometimes my brother was in abroad, and one time my father called him and asked, "Can you find him a job? Me a job, right?" So, not nothing was stopping me, because I wanted to have this, because this is actually I was thinking I must do this, I must do this, and when I was in fourth year, I started the business before graduating,
Okay.
before getting the final results of the final semester. I started the business.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. So that is about that. So you never felt it as a risk taking, but your parents and others thought it you were taking a risk.
I know there's a risk, but if you're looking at the other things that we are doing, everywhere is there's a risk. If when you are eating a plate of rice, there's a risk, right? So when you're drinking water, there's a risk. When you're going to there's a calculated risk there. So like when you're starting a business, you don't gonna die. You will never die, but there's a risk that people are highlighting more. It's more emphasized in the society here. So this is
than the
the
than
problem,
the other
right?
type of risk. Yeah, I know.
Exactly, right. But there are a lot of risks out there. But if you look around,
Yeah.
so I was
Okay.
expecting
So
those things.
expecting those. So uh, let us know about the starting point of the company and what were you doing at the beginning? What kind of a company did you start?
Okay, so when I was starting the company, it's a quite a basement, like a 10 by 10 foot, 10
Room.
by 10 feet room, right? And this is actually a very primary. It's not an office; it's like kind of a shop, right? It's kind of a shop. Then what we had is to find a person to work with me, right? So I found a person to work with me, but he left uh, after 1 week when we started, right? But then accidentally one person came and he became the CTO of the company now, and he was with me from the very beginning of the company, right? So he trusted me uh, um, with a 5,000 rupees salary for the first month, right? That was his salary when I was starting the company. He was a graduate from the Peradeniya University. So what we wanted. But we didn't have that, you know, fixed businesses. We didn't know anything. Like we just started the kind of a small shop, and we were expecting to people come and build websites and point of sale systems for them, right? Then we went by shop to I'm going to do the
So
sales,
you
and
were
he's
doing the,
building the.
yeah, you were doing the business development sales work
Exactly.
also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was actually using getting my laptop back in the morning with a with uh, a food packet, and then I'm going into all the shops and asking like, would you be able to work with us to build a point of sale system? And then there's no bargaining power for us, kind of like having a good big prices because we don't have any clients. But nobody was able to give us software solutions work, right? There's no software services work around here, only a
And
website.
I'm
But
sure probably people also didn't understand what you were talking, maybe.
to a certain extent, but some of the businesses, they were exciting about the work. They were doing it, but we didn't get any job at the first place. But there was a one
So
person
wait a
who's
minute, wait a minute.
actually.
Kalinga. So you were
Yeah.
not discouraged? Didn't you feel okay? This is not going to work. Every day you go out and meet people, try to get them to give you work to build a website or a point of sale system, and they were not giving you. Uh, what came to your mind? Did you feel
Yeah.
like giving up?
Yes, sometimes I had that feeling, right? The only thing that pushing me forward is the person who's with me, depending on me. I had that kind of a feeling like there's one person who's trusting me, so I cannot lose that trust, right? So if he's working with me, I must ensure his safety and everything. So that was my feeling, and I was used to watch these inspirational real life stories in like movies,
Videos.
like especially the Pursuit of Happiness, um, Coach Carter, right? And the story of the Steve Jobs. So when I'm reading those stories and listening to them, I was there was few breakpoints there. It's almost same to me, right? So if these
Okay.
breakpoints are coming, it's a sign of I am succeeding, right? That's kind of a feeling was there, right? So then one time I'm feeling that I'm giving up, but then when I'm watching that kind of a movie and listening to these stories, okay, this is a good sign and let's move forward, right? So that's the idea. And then for the first time actually, when I was going for a website
Canvassing
requirement.
business. Okay.
Yes,
Somebody gave
right.
you a website.
No, I heard that there was a website requirement, and I went to that person, and he
Okay.
said, "Look, that website was given to someone else. Are you doing CCTV cameras?" Right.
Okay.
So when I at that time I was actually in my internship, and my favorite street at PETA is First Cross Street. You know, this is
Tell
where
me about it.
all the electronic gadgets, all the junks are in there, right? So I used to buy all this stuff, right? And getting it to Bandarwala and selling and covering up my traveling costs, like the bus fare sometimes. And then this is where the CCTV cameras and the LED bulbs came, right?
Hmm.
To the mass market. Um,
Yes.
so LED bulb. Then he asked, "Are you doing this CCTV cameras?" And I was lucky that I installed CCTV cameras at my home with one person, right? So I know how all these things are working. So I said, "Yes, let's do it." But it was not an easy job when I was installing the CCTV camera. I hired two technicians, twin brothers, for installing it. I found that a lot of CCTV installations are failing at that time because of the power supplies and the wrong wirings, right? Like the way how they are wiring and sealing them is not correct, right? So I personally checked every wiring and we designed our own power supply for the reliability, and that went for 2 years to break. 24 by 7 to 2 years, right? So that give us we gave them a promise that these devices are working 100% as the intended way, right? So security cameras needs to be work 24 by 7 without any interruption, and we
Yeah.
make sure to
You
happen there.
give. Yep.
Right. So this was the first thing, and we did a lot of CCTV projects, and every profit came from these CCTV projects pumped back to building a software business. So we didn't have a lot of software projects, but we created a few software projects at that time, but not profitable ones. Um, Point of sale systems and milk center management systems, tea collecting center management systems. Those things are around here. So these are the solutions that we can provide. So
So,
it's
Kalinga, shall
easy.
we do this? I know you have a company video which you can share,
Yeah,
but before that, we have Dr. Lasit from Jawaharlal University. He's talking about Professor Vasantha Priyan. He's saying, the fruits of your efforts at Sabargama University of Sri Lanka. So,
yeah,
it's great to see that, others are actually confirming uh,
yeah,
what you mentioned. So, great.
yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
Dr. Lasit,
thanks.
for joining from Colombo. It's a great discussion. So, Kalinga, would you mind sharing that video with us?
Yeah,
I
sure.
think it's a 2 minutes video just to see the journey of your company, and then after that, we will talk about it.
Okay, sure.
We have probably about 30 minutes more to talk about. And in the meantime, I would like to invite everyone to comment, ask questions, how Kalinga has done it we haven't still come to Kalinga's work, the kind of things that he's doing. You will be amazed to see it. And someone is going to walk away with a book courtesy of Pick a Book Sri Lanka. So Kalinga, can I share the screen?
Yeah.
You can play it.
Okay.
I can't hear anything.
Okay. Really? Um,
Volume.
Volume is there. Let me. Um,
Just play it again.
yeah, sure. A YouTube video, right? So that's
You didn't share it. I mean, I should have got the video earlier and shared it on my side, but I'm asking you to do it.
yeah.
I'm putting you into a bit of a trouble. It's okay. Let's
Can
give it
you
a
hear
try.
now? Can you hear now?
No, no,
No.
no. It's
Okay.
okay. We
Why
will look
don't
at we look
we?
at the story. We look at the story.
Okay. Okay.
Story is written. No? So it started in 2012,
Yeah.
and you sold a post system.
Yeah. We
This
called
was
it
it.
as Hydra,
Okay.
and this is where we have assembled our CCTVs and LED bulbs. So,
Okay. Which was
so
giving
this is
cash to the
where.
business.
Yeah.
That was your yeah. That was your
This
office at
is.
that time.
Yeah. 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 So let me.
Yeah, we'll have a
Um,
look at it.
yeah.
I would like to see your first office.
So this is actually the first. This is the second office.
Second
The
office.
Yeah, this is the small shop that I was telling you,
Yeah,
and
okay.
this is the second office that we have moved. So if you look closely, all of these
Yeah,
computers are used computers. All these two members are still with us,
okay.
and all the
Furniture, I
chairs,
can see. I
furniture.
can see that
Yeah, yeah,
basic furniture.
basic furniture, because we were very lean from the very beginning, right? Because we didn't
Yeah,
want to spend for unwanted stuff like the fancy things and everything. We didn't we didn't want to have that.
Yeah.
So the used computers we were using at that time, and all the chairs came from these are used chairs from a shop we bought. Like only the three chairs from we bought as new chairs, right?
Okay.
So
We'll go forward. What was Harit at that time?
yeah, so this is actually a product that we have created totally in Sinhala language for milk collecting center management. Sorry, tea collecting center management. Right. For
Okay.
there are a lot of tea around here, and there are people who are collecting the tea leaves from small um, tea estate
Plantations.
owners, tea plantations, and they are collecting them and handing over to the factories, and they are taking a commission from it. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of calculations out there, and they need to provide these calculations and books into the national tea board, Sri Lanka tea board as well. So so we created a kind of a very localized software solution for them, and
Okay.
sometimes the few people, few owners came from far away, from Bandarwala, like Passara, and these people are not having IT background, but they are sons and daughters had the IT to a certain extent of IT knowledge, and they are buying a computer from our town and installing the software, and they are going back to their place. So that's kind
Okay.
of an impact that we made.
Okay.
This is still using.
Okay. Earlier project, earlier products
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. So this is actually a product that we created for business listing. So Sahasa, and we recently revamped. We will have that story later.
Yeah.
So these are the community work that we have done. Um, for when we were at a stage, but even at that time we didn't have a good profit from the company, but we wanted to give something for the community, and we did these kind of community work.
Super.
So most importantly, for the first 3 years, 80% of the products were failed.
Okay. Failures are the best path to success. Okay.
Yeah. So this is in 2016 we moved to a new office.
Okay. That's your new office.
Yeah. This is one of the brilliant things that we have done. One of the mobile games still in top charts, um,
So for
having
the
a lot of
benefit of
players.
for the benefit of the audience, you are also into game development.
Yeah, we have separate game division studio called C Games now.
Okay. It was a mobile first mobile game.
Yeah.
Is that your office now?
So this is a small meeting room. Like I want to say, like how lean even now. Like we wanted to have a meeting room. Earlier, this was actually my personal room, but we ran out of space for our people. So I sacrificed my place for them as converting this into a meeting room, and I went to outside place. And
Okay.
this table is not a meeting table, right? This is a table that is using for dining
So,
rooms,
yeah, I
right?
know. Looks like a lunch table.
Exactly, but it does the work, right? So I just
Yeah.
wanted to give you that idea, right? So from the very beginning, so still we are maintaining that culture, but it doesn't say that we are not spending for whenever we want, but we are spending whenever we want at most wanted, right? So so we had a division called Cetronics. So here we created these LED light boards once, right? So
Okay. Oh, so products from Bandarevele is used
yeah.
in,
So
okay,
yeah,
global client.
all the products that, yeah. So this is actually these are not these are clients, actually these are our users basically. So
Okay, Kaling. Uh, can I go to the next question?
yeah.
Uh, Dr. Lasit also has asked a question, but in the meantime, I think we will be answering that question later, but I'll show you the question.
Okay.
Uh, to regionalize IT industry, to what extent do you think the regionalization of IT and computing degrees is important? You want to answer it in maybe 1 or 2 minutes here?
Oh, yeah, sure. So it plays a major role, right? If you if you understand the gap here, we still, like, now we need to scale the company, and we are looking for more people to join. So we are
Yes.
aggressively hiring at the moment, as I told you before as well.
So
But
it's a good news. People who are in Badula district, C Digital is hiring.
exactly. So we have, I think, ICT Skills Council has released a report. We have around 18,000 annual requirement of IT employees. Like
Yep.
we are lacking 18,000 at the moment. But the problem is, are we producing enough graduates in good quality manner, right? So to have that, I think we need to have more external, like we need to reduce the barriers for getting an IT degree. If it is money, we need to reduce that money barrier. If it is the A levels, we need to demolish that barrier, right? A levels is not a requirement for getting a degree, right? So I proved that because we created a concept called C Digital Academy, right? We are hiring people. We are hiring people who doesn't have A levels, and they became brilliant engineers in our company, and some of the best products came from them. So
Wow.
with our own training, one person is now the head of engineering, so he doesn't have his A levels. So but he wrote a compiler himself. So I believe that we need to reduce the barriers to come into IT degrees, because we have a lot of barriers inside of it. Because let's say we are graduating 1,000 graduates a year, combining private universities and state universities, but it's not enough, right? We need more, but for that, not everybody can come to Colombo, not everybody can pass A levels, but it doesn't validate their talent, right?
True.
We need to
So,
reduce
so
the
you agree with
thing.
Dr. Lasit's, like what you say is definitely regionalizing of IT computing degrees is very, very important. But apart
Yeah,
from that, you want more people to enter
yeah,
IT streams. So we need to either reduce or demolish these barriers to entry. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, Kaling, we have another maybe 15 minutes to ask some questions. Now we are already proving, by looking at the customers that you are serving in global clientele,
yeah,
why we need to regionalize IT industry. That itself is an example. So I told you, I'm not going to give answers. Your story is the answer, the proof that IT industry
yeah,
has to be regionalized. Maybe some of the authorities, policymakers might get little hurt, uh, if they have a certain belief, but then these are facts. So,
Yeah.
can you explain few important products that you have developed? I know that you believe in products for us
Yeah.
to understand the type of business that you do.
So we, from the very beginning, we are into products, not for the services, right? So we only did services to sustain the cash flow, but our core vision is to build a product company from the very beginning. So um, we we created products, and one of the product is actually focused on um, intellectual property protection and reputation management. So this
Okay.
is one of the core products that we have developed, and I can't tell you the clients because of the agreements that we have with them.
Yes, we understand.
But these are big, big companies in the world. You won't believe that a company in Bandaravela is building the technology behind it, right? So we are the ones who created that technology to save their brands, save their intellectual property out there, and it has helped
And
us to grow.
I know that every year there is a list of top 100 brands in the world,
Yeah,
and some of those top 100 brands are using your product, your
yeah,
solution, in terms of protecting their intellectual property.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
okay. So I
So
mean, it's a proud moment. It's a proud thing for Sri Lanka. I mean, but the problem is nobody sees it. Like, only a few people who are around you would know it. So
yeah,
here, in my own little way, I'm also exposing you, and this is the reason why IT industry has to be regionalized. Yeah.
exactly.
What
Yeah.
are the other products?
So we have, as I said, bit early, we into mobile gaming, right?
How big go?
So
How strong are you in mobile gaming sector?
quite a strong. We recently did Japanese mobile gaming projects as well, and now we are partnered with Singapore mobile gaming publishing studio firm as well. So this is actually giving us, we build local games as well, international games as well. We have our own developers, artists, designers, every and analysts as well to understand um, how the mobile game market is moving, and we are collaborating with the international people to understand more and learn more. So the idea is to create a mark in the world map. We can make mobile games in a very high quality manner, right? So that's what we are looking for, and that we have aimed and that we have done so far. A lot of things we have learned for the past 2 years, 2.5 years after we have started this mobile gaming effort, and so that's one of the there's a separate product lines there, and we have our recently we are now releasing another data related product which has related to social listening, and
Okay,
probably you will
interesting.
see it within next month or so. It's already in the pipeline, and we will release it. And there's another product that we are released, which is actually related to the mobile gaming, but not the games in the App Store and Play Store. It's more of a marketing game type work, which is now we have tested with a few clients in Sri Lanka, big companies, and we will release that product as well. It's in the final stage at the moment, and
Okay.
so that's gaming and data. And we have another division called e-commerce. E-commerce was an accident. We didn't
Yeah,
want to come into the e-commerce.
I actually wanted to ask you any lessons from COVID-19. I'm sure this
Yeah,
is connected with that.
yes, exactly. So when we were at the lockdown last March, right? So a lot of company owners and these the community was like the business owner, all the corporate world was saying like you need to save money, and to survive the company, and we heard that story that people have cut down their salaries and these kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And we have lost one client as well at the same time, right? It's a coincidence, right? So then I was I was terrified. What will happen? Is it the first losing brick of our wall, right? The protection wall, right? So then
Yes.
I spoke with my team and said, "Look, this is not going to work. If you want to save all of our jobs and the reputation, we need to pivot what we are doing now and do something else." Then there was a kind of a sense that e-commerce is booming in a rapid manner that nobody's ever seen. So
Yes.
let's say we said that let's move into the e-commerce and let's build a kind of a mini Shopify type of a solution for Sri Lanka, right? So we started to overhaul and created the whole new product under the Sahasa brand name within 4 days, right? Four
Okay.
days, we created a complete new system, and thanking to my brilliant team, and we released it. And
Okay.
within a uh, very limited amount of time, they lot of shops around the country grabbed these solutions. We offered them as a free solution, but we want to build a business around it. So then after the things are going easing out, and then what we were thinking about is like, okay, this is not moving well. Let's go and check with the customers that we have. Then they were saying, look, we like to come online, but we don't have a mechanism to deliver the goods, right? And we don't have the payment gateways, and it's a bigger hassle. So those kind of stuff. Then we wanted to pivot the product. We pivot the product into a grocery delivery, food delivery platform, kind of a hyper local platform, and we test the product in Bandaravela, and within 3 months we completed 3,000 orders,
Wow.
and and 3 months within 3 months we break even the product, right? And now we are profitable. And the wonderful thing is, um, while some of the big companies, I don't know, but some of the companies lost fired people in even in America, but we gave jobs for the people who lost jobs,
During
especially on the
COVID,
tourism
during pandemic.
during the
Yeah.
COVID. We gave them a job, especially in the people who lost the jobs in the tourism sector. We provided a job, right? So some became we convert the revenue managers into e-commerce revenue managers, right?
Sure.
We convert some of the hotel waiters into riders, right? And
Wait a
then
minute. Now, you mean to
yeah,
say that you not only have the platform, but you
yeah.
also have the complete backend like delivery under your control.
Exactly. So we created a kind of a seamless logistic arm and a technology to work that make that happen. And the most important thing is this is quite regionalized. The way how created this platform is we can open tenants whenever we like in any part in this country. So now we are operating in Goa, Bandaravela, and we are trying to launch in Badulla. And people are asking to come to Kalutara and few other places in the country because there some of the people are fans about this product.
Okay. So can
So
I order
that's what we have
something
done.
from here? Is it possible for me to order something from here to be sent to
Yeah,
some of my relatives over there?
exactly. Because now some of the friends in Australia and UK. These guys are their parents are here, so these people are ordering from our platform, and the production is the way how we are delivering goods is quite unique as well. It's having a personal touch, right? everything is unique. And we started to deliver fresh vegetables because uh, we have the capacity to deliver fresh vegetables. Nobody else, right? We are the ones who produce the vegetables here, right,
you're
to the
close
whole
to the
country.
source. You're close to
Exactly.
the source.
So we have the source, and we created a mechanism to deliver organic and unorganic vegetables for all these places. So it's still
Amazing.
more. It's still the product is in very early stage, but we are rapidly improving it.
Knowing now what you have done, I can imagine what the Sahasa platform would do in the future. You have
Yeah,
your other products have reached the world very well. So
exactly.
amazing story. So let us talk about the UO Startup Hub. We have about maybe 5-10 minutes more. Why
Yeah.
UO Startup Hub? Why don't you just mind your business and wait?
So when I was starting the company, I want to prove to the country and prove to the other people that we can build a high tech company here in Bandaravilla and any part of the locations as well. So we don't need to be in Colombo to build a tech company. So I've seen from my own eyes that big tech companies have impacted the surroundings, and how the small towns have
Yeah.
built around these big companies. So wealthy towns actually. So I wanted to have that, and having a Silicon Valley concept is not building businesses. It's basically a mindset. To create a mindset, we need a community, and we need to have that collaboration and working together mindset to achieve more. So this idea of a startup hub came on that vision. So I strongly believe that ideas are bulletproof. Uh, so this idea was when I was pitching this in 2016. ICT was sponsored for the first event, and then for like almost like 1.5 years, I think 2 years, it was stopped. It was like stagnated for a very long time, and then another software company called Instra, they came in Badulla, and we had a discussion, a friendly discussion, and we joined together to restart the program. So to a certain level, their financial backing has helped to make that happen as well to
Okay.
this level, and there are very good people came and joined with this, like the volunteers, the other companies, and there's a separate ecosystem now without me operating the startup hub, because I'm like having the founder tag on startup hub is not the real deal, right? So it's
Yes.
basically the execution. Like everybody can be a founder, but the people who are behind the stage are the ones who are the heroes, basically. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you like, can I share my screen, the ecosystem that we have built, right?
Please.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to share like within a very short time
Sure.
the impact that we have done, right? Um, so I hope you can see my screen.
Yep. It's loading.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is us that we see digital in Nuvo province, and this is the second company that came in,
Join.
Instra Technologies, right? So I wanted to thank all these people: Kosala, Sampath, Madhushankar, Sajivani. These all of these, their effort is behind the startup hub success, right? So there's another company, a BPO company called Infotech here, and
Oh,
Live Room, quite a unique company. They have a branch here in Bandaravilla as well.
okay.
Um, uh, all of these, like two of the founders, are schooled here in the Bandaravilla as well, and So there are a few startups in the progress, and some of them have already there in the businesses. Thintrek, e-advertising, Unique Creations, Server Club. Can you imagine a company, a server hosting company is in Bibile? Can you
Wow.
imagine? Right. So Server Club is based in Bibile. So the rest, there's another company called Prevu, Crivon, and Wobio Solutions. So
Some of
those are
the
some of the
startups.
startups. But remember, like if you look closely, most of these startups are focused on global products. They are not focused
Yeah.
on local products, local
Yeah.
market, right? And we have around 500 to 1,000 freelancers here in the Wu
Who
province,
were
and yeah, and these people are silently getting foreign
bringing
revenue to the
dollars to the
country.
country.
Yeah,
You know.
right.
Yeah.
So these are silent heroes that nobody has recognized up to now,
Recognized or
right?
appreciated. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So apart from these things, right, we created if you go for the startuphub.com, right, this is
Okay.
our site.
Okay.
We created a kind of a volunteer program. So Nirmal is the coordinator, and he's basically the person who he's running the show, basically, right? Nirmal.
Okay.
He's a graduate from the University of Moratu, and an engineer as well. So
He's helping.
he's helping, and he's basically running the show. And whostartuphub.com, if you go to that site, you will see that we have done a lot of freelancing training programs. The idea is to turn the freelancers into entrepreneurs, and in one day. To a certain level it was succeeded, and we are trying to continue that in future as well. So
Yeah.
that's basically the Uber Startup Hub. And I wanted to give you an idea that Uber Startup Hub is not only for the Uber. Like
Yeah.
if you can like if you can inspire from this presentation and this video, right?
Yeah.
If you can, some of the people like me, or the other people in those companies can inspire one province at a time, you can create 9 startup hub in this country, right? We have a good startup ecosystem in Jaffna, but for the rest of the country, we don't have it. But
Yeah.
nobody wants to come and give you the platform. Platform is already with you, right? So if you're interested, we would like to share whatever the things that we have, the experience, everything to you, how to create these things. We can not the
Why
how, but exactly.
also, like,
And
why reinvent the wheel when the expertise is around you? I'm
yeah,
sure you will be more than happy to give a helping hand to anyone else who wants to replicate the success anywhere
yeah,
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a
So
replicatable model, and anybody who is interested who can take the leadership, it's up to you. And
yeah.
it's
We
your
have a
chance.
comment from Dr. Lasit. He says, great to hear your story, Karling, and get to know about your initiative in the Uva region. Hopefully, others can emulate and follow your success. Hope you get the necessary support from the IT industry and the government. I think Dr. Lasit, also someone who is well connected and who is doing immense amount of work to support the fresh graduates by way of getting connected to a lot of uh, senior people who have already left the country, who are working in other countries. He's like a hub. So I think, Karling, you
Right.
should also be connected with him going forward. Thank you, Dr.
Sure,
Lasit, for
sure.
being with us and giving your inputs.
Thank you,
So
doctor.
yeah, so Karling, any last word, last thought before we wrap up?
So I want to thank you especially, right? So we had this discussion to come on this show for a very long time, but I'm the one who's, you know,
Busy.
hesitating to come into the show, and quite busy as well. But um, I just wanted to give all the listeners here,
Yeah.
if this is, I'm not a, you know, kind of a special person, right? I just did. I had more self awareness on the capacity that I have, and that's how I went through. And I just wanted to have a better platform for the next generations in this country to live, right? Information technology is one of the easiest way that we can do it, rather than having the manufacturing facilities in here and there. If you can create a tech company, start it right away, pay well for the employees, um, that amount will, whatever the salaries that you're giving for your employees, will directly impact for the surrounding, and their lives will be uplifting, definitely. And this will help us to grow the country, not by blaming to the government and for the politicians and for the environment and whatever the thing is. But it's not the way how we need to build the country, think creatively to improve the surroundings, and then eventually the country will lift up. So that's my final thought.
Okay. So for the policymakers, for authorities, government, or whatever, this is the answer for the question. Our topic was, why should the IT industry be regionalized in Sri Lanka? And we have one of the best stories here. So your story is an inspiration as well as a great example how things could be done. So Kalinga, I know you are very busy, but then you wanted to inspire and give hope for other regions to start doing what you are doing right now. Thank you very much. And everyone, whoever joined with us today. And by the way, uh, today I used to give a book every week by the courtesy of Pick a Book. So those who are joining, please go to www.pickabook.club. And apparently, Dr. Lasit is going to receive a book courtesy of Pick a Book today. Please inbox your uh, home address and your mobile number. I have your mobile number though. We will make sure that your book will be couriered to you. Thank you very much for joining with us, and do join us next week on Thursday at 8:30 for another inspirational discussion with another great guest. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night and stay safe.
Thank you. Good night.